Thank you for joining Global Evolution with J.D. Messenger, the show that shares knowledge and experience from global experts. Now, once again, your host, J.D. Messenger.
Welcome back to Global Evolution. I'm J.D., and we are talking with Dr. Stephen Post, the author of Why Good Things Happen to Good People, which is all about the exciting new scientific and other research that proves the link between doing good and living a longer, healthier, and happier life. And Dr. Post was just explaining about some of that research, and that there are 10 things, 10 ways of giving, that if you do these things, you live a longer, healthier life. Now, you might be asking yourself, why is this important? Why should you listen to this show? Why should this book be on every nightstand and desktop in America? Well, I'm going to give you one short story that tells you why I think this is so important. I had the privilege of going to New York City not too long ago and be interviewed by producers from Oprah and Montel and the God Squad. I had some coaching by some media advisors. And one of the media advisors said to me, and I practically fell out of my seat, he said, if your story isn't promoting fear or greed, we're not interested. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? If it's not promoting fear or greed, which he said were the only motivators, then we're not interested. Clearly, this individual did not understand that there are millions of Americans and millions of people around the world that have this empty feeling inside them. And that empty feeling is coming from the fact that their heart and their soul is craving for the food that is the core of their existence. Stephen, before the end of the last segment, we started talking about the 10 ways. You mentioned things like humor, respect, compassion, listening, carefrontation, and forgiveness. Let's talk about forgiveness. What is forgiveness? Because I think a lot of people don't understand what that is. And secondly, how can it be forgiving help you live a longer, healthier, happier life? All right, what is it? What is forgiveness?
Well, first of all, what it's not reconciliation. Forgiveness doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get back together with someone. Forgiveness is really the inner process of letting go of this this bitterness, this tendency to turn over and over again and again the same kind of hurt, the same kind of resentment. And the reason why not forgiving is so bad for you is because we know, J.D., about all of the stress that's involved in these negative emotions. Hatred, anger, resentment, fear. You keep those emotions on for a brief period, and they don't really hurt you. But you keep them on for a long period, and that's called the stress response. It also shuts down your immune system, so you get lower levels of immune chemicals. That's why, in one new study, people who are unforgiving have higher rates of respiratory infection. And middle-aged men who are regularly angry also have higher levels of respiratory infection. So there's a clear connection between your emotional state and your ability to resist illness. That's why when you let go of some hurt, even if you don't reconcile with somebody, it's a good thing. Can I tell you a really quick story?
Yeah, go for it. I'm making a list of all the people I'm forgiving right now.
Oh, good. You ought to be. Me too.